trying to make an impact on that Beverly record, maybe bring it down to 1-4-3 if the Tanners can sneak in to Beverly High School today and grab a victory against the hometown Panthers. I'm JJ Sylvia, and stay with us. We'll be back in just a few moments on BevCam Sportsnet to bring you this one. welcome back everyone to BevCam Sportsnet. JJ Sylvia along with you as we return to begin this Division I MIAA field hockey matchup between the Beverly Panthers and the Peabody Tanners. Let's get the starting lineups for both sides. First, for the Beverly High School Panthers, it will be Lucia Simone, Noelle McLean, and Kyla Hart-Perrin up front, with Lily Shea, Jamie DuPont, Brooke Davies, and Karis Murphy in the midfield. Ella Malabogi, Katie Kelsey, Sophie Rogers on the back end, with Amelia Massa in between the pipes as the goalkeeper. On the other side for Peabody, it will be Gina Terrazano, Isabella DeChico, Shelby Racky up front, with Kyra Buckley, Jacqueline Scopa, Victoria McCoy, and Siobhan Smith in the midfield. Jenna Espinola, Alexa DeMarcus, and Haley Malvich on the back end, with Gianna Dijon Felice in between the pipes for the Tanners as we are underway here at Beverly High School. Tanners on the advance to start. Moved out of harm's way quickly for Beverly by Malablucky. And the Panthers now will try to gain possession in their offensive third. Panthers only one victory so far this season. That is not very common for a team coached by head coach Trish Murphy. Murphy, in her 13th year, 160 total victories, so we don't see a lot of losing records from her coaching. So uncharacteristic to witness a 1-3-3 start for the Panthers, but nothing quite like a home game to revitalize a team's momentum, especially early on in a season. Tanners not allowing much advance from Beverly as they were able to crack the midfield line, but haven't truly gained their offensive third yet. Neither squad has really done so. Peabody working the far sideline early in this first quarter. In terms of scorers for the Beverly Panthers, right now, Noelle McLean, who's on that forward line for head coach Trish Murphy, she's 10th on the North Shore in scoring with 3 goals. And now Beverly on the attack right away. First time either squad has gained their offensive third so far. Whistle will benefit the Peabody Tanners. Beverly's back line, however, will stand tall and get a whistle to their benefit. Beverly, as a squad, I spoke to head coach Trish Murphy before this game today, and she spoke with me about her strategy in terms of her midfield setup, running a 4-player midfield in sort of a diamond formation. Something I've seen a few times in my broadcasting experience at Endicott College at the collegiate level. Some collegiate schools known to use a similar system of 4 midfielders, with one playing more towards the defensive side of the field. Beverly trying to gain numbers here. Now the ball on to the stick of Davies as she tries to move it forward, where Davies will have help. Now the ball back to Davies. Goes back towards the middle. Strong start defensively for Blue. And Peabody will look to move it across midfield as they've spent the last few minutes playing off their backs and trying to clear out Beverly's offensive attack. Peabody to restart. Staying with the Tanners on the far sideline. Beverly doing a strong job so far in terms of swarming the ball carrier at any given moment. Defensively, that is key in the game of field hockey. Another whistle. Beverly trying to make a few passes and execute a clear, cannot do so in a rule-abiding manner. Peabody to regain possession inside their offensive third. Opportunity here for the Tanners to potentially put a ball towards Beverly's goalkeeper, Amelia Massa. Amelia Massa had 5 saves against Triton in Beverly's last matchup, that 1-0 loss that I mentioned earlier. And so far this year, Amelia Massa, a total of 37 saves in between the pipes for the Panthers. Tanners trying to take advantage of numerous restarts in their favor. Finally have a whistle go against them, and Beverly now with a chance to move it out of harm's way. Both teams struggling a bit with the terrain early on. Obviously, when you start a new season, it takes a while to get used to the playing surfaces in any sport. Beverly with numbers moving in the offensive direction, pass up ahead. And now a chance here as the Panthers have multiple players in the circle. Let's see if they can make something happen on a whistle, as Peabody will benefit. Tanners trying to execute a fast clear. Beverly's midfield defense has been aggressive. Anytime the Tanners try to make it past the midfield line, it tends to be a difficult task with multiple Beverly Panthers swarming ball carriers and looking to clog passing lanes. Another whistle by the head official today, Linda Rowell. Rowell not being afraid to point out miscues in this early season matchup. Definitely need to make points of certain things that should not be done for these high school players, especially as you look for more efficient and skilled play as the season progresses. Beverly has spent a lot of time in their offensive third early on, but their presence has yet to produce any offensive scoring. Heavy stick battle here as Davies was trying to wrestle it away, and Brooke Davies gets the benefit of that recent whistle. Noelle McLean trying to feed it further ahead for Davies, had it taken away from her. But now once again McLean with it. McLean swings it into the circle, looking to try and find Hart Perron. Beverly still attacking. Thickly settled in there in the circle, not much room for anyone to move. And as that occurs, we have our first penalty corner of the afternoon for either side, and Beverly will look to get themselves on the board with this one. Beverly has kept the ball in their offensive half of the field for the past few minutes. Let's see if they can cash in here with this corner. Insert is a good one. Swing and a miss on the first shot opportunity there, as I'm sure Noelle McLean's going to want that one back. So Panthers unable to capitalize on that penalty corner opportunity. And now the Tanners will look to flip the script on what has been a Beverly dominant first quarter so far. Good passing here by the Panthers as they move back forward. Still on their offensive half of the field as they have been for the past few minutes. Beverly continuing to pressure in their half. Whistle to benefit the Panthers again. Panthers have had plenty of favorable calls so far by Linda Rowell. Rowell this time, however, continuing to stay on Beverly's side. Panthers have made a lot of crisp passes so far to put a positive note to it, but also on the defensive end positively for Peabody. They've been able to hold their own. Beverly has been able to complete some of those passes, but Peabody going with a bend but don't break defensive style. Not necessarily preventing every pass, but making sure that their goalkeeper is well guarded and making sure that there aren't more Panthers within the circle than there are Tanners at any particular moment. Whistle to benefit the Beverly Panthers. And now another potential chance here for Beverly in their offensive third. Now a pass goes to McLean. McLean, the shot got blocked. McLean will try again, push back in front. And it was stopped on the way in by Dijon Felice. Whistle will benefit Peabody as they try to slow down what has been a pretty consistent Beverly attack over the past few minutes. Peabody now across midfield for the first time in a while. Pressure being provided by Jacqueline Scopa. Scopa moving all the way in. She fires and a stop. Good one by Massa. Amelia Massa with the stop and Beverly quickly clearing. Davies goes further into the middle, connecting with Noelle McLean. McLean trying to go towards the far sideline and was looking to connect with Lucia Simone. Peabody to use a whistle in their favor.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, like anyone who's coming.
Restart coming. Pushed toward the near sideline, McLean to track it down. Noelle McLean has help in the circle with her, pushes it toward the cage, but it was stopped on its way in. Looks like this whistle will help out Peabody as they try to clear here. Tanners now moving much quicker with more urgency. A few crisp passes eventually stalled. Great defensive effort by Beverly. They haven't had to play a lot of defense so far, but when they have had to, they've been up to the task. Tanners now attacking. Some much needed offensive area presence for Peabody. Once again, Beverly benefiting from whistles. Long slap pass as they were trying to find Noelle McLean, and McLean will use the restart. McLean goes into the middle. Beverly trying to punctuate a first quarter that has been filled with offensive third presence, but no scoring. Now both squads have had at least a few opportunities in their offensive third, but neither squad really mustering any shots on goal, except for the one that was taken on Dijon Felice by Beverly, but not many shots on goal. Only one for Peabody as well. So 1-1 in the shot department. Peabody on the advance, methodically marching toward Beverly's cage. Pass up the near sideline, connecting with Jacqueline Scopa. Scopa trying to feed it back into the middle, was looking back toward the circle, but it was taken away and cleared. Now the Panthers look to get the forward line in on the action as the defense in midfield has been on display with strong defensive stops over the past few minutes. Panthers on the attack once more with multiple white jerseys in the circle, pushed back out of the circle and now back in. A chance here for the Panthers. And a shot on is stopped by Dijon Felice, and now a chance at the back door. Beverly still trying to pressure. A whistle. And a penalty corner coming. Number 2 for Beverly. Beverly's 0 for 1 on penalty corners so far. They did not convert on their first. This time the insert will come from the near right side, and Lily Shea will do the honors. It's a good insert to the top of the circle. Ball was a tad bit mishandled that time around, however. As the clock strikes 0 to conclude this first quarter of play. These two squads close to each other in terms of distance between schools and very close on the scoreboard as well. A 0-0 tie as we look towards quarter number 2. We will return here on BevCam Sportsnet. I'm JJ Sylvia.
Well, yeah. It's just because I sit
No, I was talking to her. That's my friend.
Back here for the second quarter between Beverly and Peabody here on BevCam Sportsnet. I am JJ Sylvia. These two squads knotted at 0 after one quarter. It was really a defensive battle, not much else you can say. Both goalkeepers got challenged once, both goalkeepers stepped up, and it is a 0-0 draw so far as we head into quarter number 2. We are underway. Tanners to start with the ball. Beverly in the first quarter was able to draw 2 penalty corners, but they were unable to cash in on either of them. Could have potentially been a 2-0 game, as often we will see penalty corners be a deciding factor in some field hockey games, especially in Massachusetts. A lot of these Massachusetts field hockey squads put a lot of emphasis on these penalty corners, the execution of them, and what kind of play styles they want to use on these corners. And it can really be the difference between a good team and a great team in terms of field hockey in the state of Massachusetts. Beverly with strong execution so far, but the same can be said on the defensive end during those penalty corners for the Peabody Tanners. Both sides have stepped up on both ends of the field as we've seen offensive presence for both sides, but defensive stronghold for both sides as well. And that is why we see the 0-0 tally that we see at this current moment. Beverly was held scoreless in their last game against Triton, which was a 1-0 loss. But other than that, the Panthers have scored in all but 2 of their other games this year. So they have the ability, in most cases, to put the ball in the back of the cage. But sometimes it's a matter of cashing in on the big opportunities for Trish Murphy's Panthers squad. Ball out of bounds will give possession to Beverly. Kyla Hart-Perrin with the restart from out of bounds, but now the Tanners looking to respond. Jacqueline Scopa, who carries the ball a lot for the Peabody Tanners, will give way to Terrazano. Terrazano was very well defended by Brooke Davies, and now the ball back to Terrazano. She fires, it was blocked on the way in. Peabody still pressing, whistle to favor the Beverly Panthers. Davies tried to slap it hard for the clear, but it was blocked. Now pushed into the circle as Terrazano is very close nearby to Beverly's goalkeeper, Amelia Massa. Panthers and Tanners still knotted at 0 as the clock ticks down here in quarter number 2 and we head towards halftime. Back and forth we go in the midfield. Neither team really able to establish much offensive third presence so far here in quarter number 2. Davies able to take it away with a strong play from Kyra Buckley, and now Panthers on the attack in their offensive half. Let's see if Beverly can maintain pressure and perhaps add penalty corner number 3 to the stat sheet on the day. Davies facilitating the offense. Pass for Hart-Perrin, and Hart-Perrin will go down towards the circle. A chance here in front, the shot, she scores! And the leading scorer for the Panthers, Noelle McLean, adds another one to the score sheet, her 4th of the season, and Beverly is on the board, 1-0 Panthers. Noelle McLean was tied for 10th in the North Shore with 3 goals. Before that tally, add another one to her career tallies, and the Panthers with a much-needed first goal here at home. Peabody to make a few substitutions as Felicia Morgante and Haley Malvich will check back in among others, along with Megan Collins. Beverly trying to add tally number 2 as it's been an offensive outpouring in this first half for the Beverly Panthers. Pushed towards the goalkeeper, a chance here in front, a whistle, and another penalty corner for the Beverly Panthers. That's number 3 so far. Gotta love the aggressive approach on the offensive end by Trish Murphy's squad so far. Panthers looking to turn these penalty corners into some tallies on the scoreboard this time around, looking to make it 2-0. Insert is a good one, back up top and now down low, a shot and a kick stop. Another fire on, it's tipped in front, they score! Second goal for the Panthers here in quarter number 2. And Beverly looking to keep the gas pedal pinned on, 2-0. So after a scoreless first quarter on both sides, Beverly with an offensive outburst and a much-needed one following a loss last game. And we talked early on in the game, folks, about Beverly needing that momentum early on to kind of bring themselves out of what has been a tough skid over the past few games, and these 2 goals is exactly what the Panthers needed. Let's see how the Tanners respond. Beverly today playing Peabody, but next time we see the Panthers, they will be hosting Danvers High School on October 1st. My first time that I will ever get to broadcast Kristen McCarthy as a head coach. Kristen McCarthy, a former Endicott college field hockey star that I've had the privilege of calling numerous of her games, now the head coach for Danvers High School. And she has a formidable Danvers squad coming into town in just a few days to face off against these Panthers, who right now are up 2-0 against Peabody. Peabody has played strong defense for a majority of this first half, but they have struggled to convert defense into offense. As really, you can't help but credit the Beverly midfield and backfield, who have made it incredibly hard for Peabody's forwards to create offensive pressure. Beverly continuing to create plays with strong passing in this first half. That must be something that is heavily emphasized in the practice regiments of head coach Trish Murphy. Very crisp passes every single time with intention. Don't see a lot of intercepted passes when Beverly is on the attack. Now Peabody moving the ball up the near sideline onto the stick of Jacqueline Scopa. Scopa trying to dance through multiple Beverly defenders, will not be able to do so. Scopa backed up by Kyra Buckley, but Beverly strong as ever on the defensive end. Beverly trying once again on offense. They've spent most of this first half in their offensive half of the field, really dictating the pace of play so far. McLean, who has one of the goals for the Panthers. Beverly now trying to maintain that offensive half presence, but finally Peabody able to break midfield. Once again, ball onto the stick of Jacqueline Scopa. Scopa to work this near sideline. Scopa trying to cut back towards the middle with a pass into the circle. Looking in the direction of Terrazzano, but Beverly to stand tall on defense. Terrazzano tries again, unable to get it through. Pushed out of harm's way for the moment, but Peabody still pressing and pressing. Stepping out and being very aggressive is Amelia Massa. Massa not being entirely aggressive so far in this game, but on that particular possession was incredibly aggressive, stepping very far outside of her cage area to prevent any offensive flow for the Peabody Tanners, as we should just about be heading towards halftime in a few. Peabody trying to perhaps get one tally on before halftime. A stop there off the restart by Massa. Now in the far corner. Peabody will have a whistle go against them after a pretty steady stretch of offensive third presence, something we haven't seen a lot so far in this game from Peabody. Now McLean with speed up this near sideline. Was looking to pass it further down for Caroline Hickey. Ricocheted off a Peabody defender, and now the Tanners trying to advance. Whistle to favor Peabody. Long pass down the near sideline will connect with Scopa. Scopa trying to find Terrazzano in the circle. The pass is deflected and cleared by the Beverly Panthers. As we look towards the end of half number one, if I'm Trish Murphy, I have to be very, very, very happy with the performance so far by my squad. 2 goals on the board, strong defensive play, midfield even getting involved on both ends. It's exactly what you look for from a field hockey squad, especially when you're trying to rebound from what was a tough 1-0 loss in their last matchup on Monday. Beverly had most of the attacking area presence in the first quarter. Second quarter has been a little bit more Peabody. Beverly still probably ahead in terms of total time spent in their offensive third and offensive half of the field in the second quarter especially. But Peabody with much more urgency in their play and a bit more pressure provided here in quarter number 2 as opposed to quarter number 1. Clock ticking down towards halftime here at Beverly High School. A gorgeous afternoon here in the North Shore. Slight breeze as well, nothing too crazy. Exactly the kind of weather you want for fall sports here in New England. I spoke earlier about how it's uncharacteristic to see a Beverly team with such a rough record. And it makes sense. Beverly in 2020 had a rough record as well, 2-8-2, but that was mostly due to what was a rough year due to multiple changes in just total players from the year before, and they score, and now Peabody gets on the board. First goal of the game for the Tanners, and it looks like the goal scorer for the Tanners was Jacqueline Scopo, who's had the ball on her stick a lot today, and Peabody draws within 1. It is now 2-1 Beverly, as the Tanners are on the board. Took them most of the first half to do so, but nonetheless, the Peabody Tanners bring this Beverly lead down from 2-0 to now 2-1. Long pass up ahead, off the back end. That was Elliott Lund who was able to send it forward. Lund, one of the seniors for this Beverly squad, and she tends to be a forward player, but can really be seen anywhere on the field depending on the game. Terrazano ambushed, but she'll get a little bit of help from Kyra Buckley. Another whistle by head official Linda Rowell. Looking like it will be a restart for Peabody, and it will be. Restart to be handled by Siobhan Smith. Smith wearing the number 34 for the Tanners in blue. Smith was ambushed again by multiple Panthers, but another restart for the Peabody Tanners, getting the benefit of the last few whistles here at the end of half number 1. And a whistle here as the officials trying to figure some stuff out. And the quarter ended a few moments ago, but there was a bit of confusion about whether or not the play was to continue. But nonetheless, we have concluded half number 1 here on BevCam Sportsnet. The score, the Beverly Panthers 2 and the Peabody Tanners 1 as we head into the half. We will be back to bring you the second half in just a few. Stay with us on BevCam Sportsnet.
You are watching BevCam. Here, anyone can come to the studio to make their own local TV show. Contact us with your idea. We'll help you get started with producing your own show, editing it, and then we'll broadcast it to all of Beverly for your friends and family to see. You might even get some new fans. We also film local events like sports, music, city council meetings, and more. If you miss out on anything in town, you can catch up on it here. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Contact us at 978-927-5544 or email us at admin@bevcam.org.
Got a quarter?
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul.
Everything starts out small. The things that hurt us, they all start from somewhere. The words we say, the things we do, they can grow into something else. What was small and innocent can become big and sometimes scary. All it takes is one comment, one picture, one video for something to catch fire. But a big problem doesn't need a big response. Not at first. Even if we don't know what to say, the eye emoji can be that first step we take. Let's all pledge to take that first small step together and change the world in a big way. I'm a witness, and so are you.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Here for the third quarter of play here at Beverly High School. JJ Sylvia along with you. Panthers in half number one were able to notch 2 tallies onto the board. First tally came from Noelle McLean, her 4th of the season. And then the second was off a deflection to give Beverly a 2-0 lead. Both goals came in quarter number 2 for the Panthers. Another goal in quarter number 2 as well. But this one was for Peabody. Goal scorer was Jacqueline Scopa. And that is the score we see at this current moment. A 2-1 Beverly lead. Now moved into the circle. Another chance here for the Panthers. Beverly put 2 on the board in the first half, half number 2. They're hoping to add a few more tallies. Most goals that the Panthers have scored so far this year is 4, and that was in a 4-0 victory over Saugus in their first home game of the season back on the 13th. So Beverly, so far this year, undefeated at home, but a small sample size of games to pick from in terms of that home record. Beverly starting half number 2 similar to the way they started half number 1, with pressure in their offensive third. Lily Shea was trying to start some offense, but Shea had it taken away from her. As Peabody tries to work it up the near sideline, Karis Murphy will push it out of bounds, and the Tanners will keep possession. Insert was handled for the Peabody Tanners by Victoria McCoy, and now Peabody on the attack. Pass into the middle of the field, connecting with Shelby Racky. Racky trying to get through a few Beverly defenders. Karis Murphy will not allow that to happen, and Murphy will look to clear. Beverly to keep the ball on the restart. Hart Perrin goes up toward the far sideline, going out of bounds, staying with Beverly. Another whistle to benefit the Panthers, as it seems like a lot of those have gone Beverly's way so far today. The question is how much of that can be credited to strong play and how much of that can be credited to luck, which in sports, we can have a lot of those debates. Seesaw battle in the midfield as the second half gets underway. Beverly has maintained a strong hold on the pace of this game for a majority of the time, unless you count a few offensive chances as well as the one goal by the Peabody Tanners. It has been pretty much all Beverly in this second home game of the season for the Panthers. Beverly had another potential attacking opportunity brewing, but the Tanners able to shut it down. Peabody struggled to maintain offensive third presence in half number 1. I'm sure head coach Tony Palmery would really like to see that change in half number 2. Beverly on the attack once more, as they have been so many times in this game so far. It has really been a story of the offensive juggernauts. Brooke Davies with strong passes and shooting ability. Obviously, Noelle McLean with the ability to put the ball into the back of the cage. And then you see some players that kind of fly under the radar, like Karis Murphy, who will start a lot of these offensive charges for the Panthers with a good pass from the back line, as well as Amelia Massa, who hasn't had to make a lot of saves yet, but when she does, she makes sure the save gets kicked out, pushed out, and cleared quickly. And that is a sign of a well-coached team, when you can translate quickly from a saved ball by your goalkeeper into a goal on the other end by your forward line. Time winding down here in quarter number 3. Still 2-1 Panthers. Neither side able to muster any offense so far here in the second half. Now Peabody with some of their first offensive area presence in the second half, and they have it quickly taken away from them via the whistle. Now coming up the sideline, trying to make something happen, is Lucia Simone. And now Davies coming in to help with McLean. A chance for McLean, she scores! Goal number 2 on the afternoon for Noelle McLean. Give her 5 tallies on the season. And Beverly increases their lead back up to 2 goals. Now a 3-1 Panthers lead. Noel McLean had the first tally of the afternoon for the Panthers and adds another one. Now 3-1 Beverly. Panthers attacking once again as they waste no time. After any of their goals so far, they really don't waste any time as they get right back to the pressure. Strong performance from Trish Murphy's squad so far as we look towards quarter number 4. Once again, Beverly boasting a 2-goal advantage. And they can thank Noel McLean, their junior forward, for that 2-goal advantage, as her 2 tallies are the difference. Now another chance here for the Panthers, moved into the circle. A chance for Davies, she gets it blocked. Beverly still pressuring, and a whistle to benefit Peabody. So the Tanners able to stand tall that time around, as Beverly looked like they were knocking on the door for goal number 4 on the afternoon. Neither team was able to score in quarter number 1, but since then we've seen 4 total goals, 3 for the Beverly Panthers and 1 for the Peabody Tanners. And quite honestly, had it not been for the strong defensive play on both sides, the score could be much more lopsided and much more tally heavy than it is right now. Tanners trying to utilize some of their best offensive players, Gina Terrazzano and Kyra Buckley, to gain offensive third pressure. A restart to be handled by Victoria McCoy. McCoy tries to feed it toward the near side, and Beverly will clear. Elliott Lund goes up the field and connects with Brooke Davies, and now an odd rush here for the Panthers. A shot on, push back door, and they will count it as a goal. I believe so. Let's wait on that. Yes, they will count it as a goal, so it will be 4-1 Beverly. An extensive lead now for the Panthers, as I don't think everyone really knew that that was a goal initially, but nonetheless it is. 4-1 now Beverly. And what a strong rebound performance so far for the Panthers after taking a couple really tough losses on the road. They've had lost 2 of their last 4 games, but now coming in today with a barrage of goals and a 4-1 advantage as we near the end of quarter number 3. Another whistle to benefit the Peabody Tanners. The Tanners will get a benefit of a whistle from time to time, but Beverly definitely has been able to reap the benefits much more than their road opponents this afternoon. Tanners trying to respond to what has now been 2 unanswered goals by the Beverly Panthers. Once again, the Tanners gain their offensive half of the field for a moment, but Beverly able to shut it down. Panthers looking to flip it around and head toward their offensive end. Peabody, however, continuing to pressure. Anytime Peabody's had a chance today, Jacqueline Scopa's had something to say about it. Scopa, with the ball on her stick again, pushes it into the circle, and it's kicked out by Massa. Another chance here for the Peabody Tanners as there are numerous bodies in front of Massa. A push toward the back door, a chance for Peabody, and a stop at the end line on a great defensive effort by the Panthers. And it looks like we will have a penalty corner coming up for the Peabody Tanners. That'll be number 1 on the afternoon for Peabody, so they get themselves into that statistical category in which Beverly leads 3-0 right now. Insert for Peabody to be handled by Siobhan Smith. It's a good one up top. Now pushed towards the back door, was blocked on its way into Massa. Now back to the back door again, and Beverly slams the door shut. Another chance for the Peabody Tanners, and Beverly will look to clear this time around. Another strong defensive stand by Beverly's experienced back line. Tanners trying to cut into Beverly's lead. A chance, they score! And a goal for the Peabody Tanners as they now draw within 2 of Beverly. Goal was scored by one of the captains for Peabody, Isabella DeChico. And DeChico brings Peabody within 2, now 4-2 in favor of the Beverly Panthers. We're still in the 3rd quarter. Tough bounce for Trish Murphy's squad that time around, but luckily a plentiful lead for the Panthers to work with, so there is at least a little bit of room for error on Beverly's side. 4-2 here late in period 3. Beverly has been completing crisp, long passes just like that one you just witnessed all day. Some very strong passers on this team. Brooke Davies, Jamie DuPont, Lily Shea, to name a few. All of them have made very strong passes today to set up goals by players like Noelle McLean. And McLean, I'm sure, will have her backfield and midfielders to thank for her scoring output once this game concludes today. Tanners now with numbers moving toward their offensive third. Pass back toward the far sideline was knocked away. Ella Malablocki was in there to disrupt it. And now Beverly on the attack. Caroline Hickey gets by one defender, looks up ahead even further for Lund. Lund moving in, the shot, she scores! Elliot Lund was wide open and was able to put it right past Dijon Felice. And another goal for the Beverly Panthers, make it 5-2 in favor of the hometown squad. So Beverly adds another one before the end of the quarter. And it has really been an offensive outburst today on the campus of Beverly High School. 5-2, not a score you're used to seeing often in a field hockey match, especially at the high school level. An impressive score and an impressive performance so far by Trish Murphy's Beverly Panthers squad. And what better way to resurrect a team's thought that they can compete. There's no better way to do it than a convincing, what seems to be right now, convincing victory should the Panthers be able to hold on in this one. It'll be a great way for this team to make up for their past game losses and ties that could have potentially been more wins in their overall record. Trish Murphy, 13 years of head coaching for this Beverly program, will most definitely hold her players accountable whether they win or lose. But today, I'm sure Coach Murphy will have many positive things to say after this one. Running out of time here in quarter number 3. Peabody playing strong defense here since the last Beverly tally. Panthers trying to work that far corner and create some offense out of it. Peabody standing tall. Perhaps a quick change to their defensive setup by head coach Tawny Palmery could potentially change the fortunes of this Tanner squad as they right now trail by 3 goals. Head official Linda Rowell to straighten things out as the clock strikes 0 to conclude quarter number 3. 45 minutes down, 15 minutes to go here at Beverly High School. I'm JJ Sylvia. We will be back in just a few. Here at Beverly High School for the 4th and final quarter of play between the Panthers and Tanners. It has been an outburst of offense today, folks. 5-2 in favor of Beverly. A commanding lead to have this late in the game. And now Trish Murphy, I'm sure, will dig deep into her bench as she will experiment as much as possible with some of these younger players on the squad. Always a good thing for a head coach to be able to do at the end of a game in order to evaluate future talent, looking for those players to step into roles that may be new to them in coming years. And that's a great way to evaluate them, is to have them play in situations like this. 5-2 in favor of the Beverly Panthers. It's been a goal barrage, everybody getting involved. Elliot Lund with a tally, a few goals. Also for Noelle McLean. Pretty much the whole forward line for Beverly. McLean, Lucia Simone, and Kyla Hart-Perrin have been getting involved in every way possible today. Whether it's on the offensive end, the defensive end, or making passes in the midfield or breaking up passes in the midfield. All three of those forward line players for Beverly have stepped up today to perform, especially after what was a rough 1-0 loss in Beverly's last game. And really, they've had a rough season just in general so far. It started off the year with a loss and a tie, and then got that first win, as I mentioned, against Saugus. But other than that, it's another loss, another tie, and then another loss. So Beverly with struggles in this early going of the season, but perhaps a step in the right direction for the Panthers with a 5-2 lead today. And hopefully they will be able to kill clock and play strong defense to secure this victory today over their rivals from just a town over, the Peabody Tanners. Now Beverly looking to clear, and they do. Moved over to the far side of the field, connecting with Noelle McLean. McLean will have help as she works that far sideline. Pass connecting as the Panthers move into the circle, and it will go wide of the cage as that inserting pass came from Kyla Hart-Perrin. Hart-Perrin right now tied for 16th in the North Shore with 2 goals on the season. She's a junior, mostly will be seen at the forward position, so we will see her on the forward line quite often for Trish Murphy as an upperclassman. Beverly, as we look ahead to other games on the Panthers' schedule this year, Danvers coming into town next, led by head coach, and new head coach, I should say, Kristen McCarthy. Marblehead to visit after that, followed by a trip by the Panthers to Saugus, and then a return home to play Linfield, and all that before the middle of October. And then we look ahead to some big tests, Masconomet, Gloucester, and Swampscott. The Panthers will actually play Masconomet twice in the month of October, playing them on the road on October 13th and then at home on October 22nd before another home matchup against Triton on the 25th. A chance for Beverly to potentially redeem themselves against a Triton squad that beat them 1-0 already this season. Whistle will benefit Beverly. Panthers have spread the wealth in terms of scoring today. And the thing that is most notable about this Panthers offense today is the consistency of their pressure. It seems as though Beverly is spending a good 75% of each quarter in their offensive half of the field. And that doesn't necessarily mean that Beverly is producing a big sum of shots, but instead Beverly is consistently keeping pressure, making crisp passes, and not allowing an advance back over the midfield line by Peabody. So every time Peabody is able to create a turnover by the Beverly offense, Beverly's ability to pressure ball carriers for the Tanners has helped them maintain their presence in their offensive half. And it has been a consistent presence, especially in that first half, and now carrying over to being pretty much the same amount of consistency of presence in half number 2. Beverly now struggling a bit to establish offense as Peabody stiffens up their midfield defensive attack. Now Peabody trying to turn defense into offense for the first time here in the fourth quarter. Peabody's been able to put 2 goals on the board. Goals came from Jacqueline Scopa and Isabella DeChico. Both of them are senior captains for this Peabody squad. I'm sure, however, Tawny Palmieri is going to have a lot of critiques and adjustments to make to her Tanners field hockey squad as they look forward on their schedule to upcoming games. As time moves along here in this fourth quarter, Beverly continuing to attack and a whistle. Looking like it will be Peabody ball after a whistle. Beverly, strong pressure, getting the ball right back. Pushed into the circle, a chance here for McLean at the back door. She fires, and a stop by Dijon Felice. Gianna Dijon Felice has let 5 tallies go past her today, but has also had a few impressive saves and has shown the ability to be aggressive and quick on her feet in the cage for Peabody. Perhaps it was just a story of Beverly's scorers being able to outwit this goalkeeper today, as the scoreboard would suggest that it was a poor outing for Gianna Dijon Felice, but actually to the contrary, she's really kept her team in this game at points, making multiple stops during certain possessions for Beverly, as the Panthers can often put multiple shots on during a given possession. Restart coming here for Peabody. Push to the far side. Now moved into the circle, a chance here, but a strong defensive play on the back end by the Beverly Panthers, but it will not be done so in a rule-abiding manner. Lucy Stevens will draw a penalty corner, and a second penalty corner of the afternoon for Peabody Tanners as they try to inch closer to evening up with the Beverly Panthers in that statistical category, as Beverly leads 3-2 in penalty corners. Peabody 0 for 1 on penalty corners so far today. They will look to potentially add a goal here and cut into this Beverly lead. Insert was worked back down to the inserter, but Siobhan Smith had a hard time keeping that pass in bounds, and Beverly will get the ball back. Panthers moving with urgency despite a 3-goal advantage. Now Davies over to the far sideline. Good pass connecting with Caroline Hickey. Hickey dancing on that far sideline, keeping it in bounds. Looking back towards the middle. And it looks like it went out of bounds actually while Hickey was handling it. So the ball will go back to Peabody. Tanners running out of time to get back in this one. A 3-goal deficit that they are facing, and a very uphill battle that they have to fight. Tanners with some signs of persistent pressure, which is something that they have struggled to display so far in this matchup. Obviously, the Tanners have had a few offensive scoring chances and a few goals, but the amount of time in which they're able to possess the ball in their offensive end is often short, as you aren't really allowed much room to move or to pass when playing against a well-rounded defensive team like the Beverly Panthers. Beverly's defense has tightened up significantly here in the fourth quarter, and it is why they have kept the Tanners scoreless here in this final portion. Good passing here by the Panthers. Davies unable to handle that pass, however. She'll have help. Caroline Hickey was also there to try and help Brooke Davies. Beverly back in their offensive end and pressuring. Whistle looking like it will give possession back to Peabody. Restart to be handled for the Tanners by Jenna Espinola. Espinola, one of the backfielders for the Peabody Tanners. One of those players that has not been mentioned a lot today, but her work most definitely does not go unnoticed by her coach. As I was speaking to head coach Tawny Palmieri before the game, and it seemed as though she definitely was favorable toward her defenders. Definitely a strong group on that back line for the Peabody Tanners. Still 5-2 Beverly, no scoring for much of this fourth quarter. Another chance here potentially for Peabody. A quick stop by Massa, and it will be cleared by Beverly. A great effort by Noelle McLean as she took a tumble, but was able to move the ball further forward in the process, so it was worth it. Clock winding down as this game will soon come to a close. Beverly trying to find some attacking area time here. It's been mostly Peabody for the past few minutes. Trying to work it further into the circle was Elliott Lund, but it was pushed back out. Now a long clap on by Davies is blocked in front. Loose in the circle, a chance for the Panthers, and it is pushed wide. Beverly still pressing. A whistle and another penalty corner, number 4 in the afternoon for Beverly. And a chance to add on to their already luxurious 3-goal lead. Insert to be handled by Kyla Hart-Perrin. Perrin with the insert to Davies. Davies goes back to the near side for a chance at the back door by McLean. She fires, and it was blocked on the way, and now a chance once again, and they score! Beverly with yet another one. Now 6-2 in favor of the Panthers, and this one could be pretty much written off in the books for Beverly. This time around on the penalty corner, the Panthers were able to create offense and put one in the back of the cage. They've done it numerous times today, but none of them up until this point were off of penalty corners. So now the Panthers with a 4-goal advantage, 6-2 over the Peabody Tanners. Pretty much at this point, Beverly will improve to 2-3-3 on the year after this victory. So a step in the right direction as Beverly now sits only 1 win away from being at an even 500. And that would be a critical point for Beverly to even themselves back up at 500 as they head into a tough stretch of games against teams like Marblehead, Linfield, and Masconomet. Another whistle as the clock strikes 0 to conclude this game. Final score today here at Beverly High School. The Panthers return home after losing 4 of their last 6 games. Or sorry, after losing 3 of their last 6 games, and they grab a victory against the Peabody Tanners here today. Beverly's offense was on display from the beginning. They had a 2-1 lead early on, thanks to some strong offensive play by Noelle McLean. McLean had multiple tallies today and she continues to sit close to the top of the leaderboard in the North Shore in terms of scoring. Also a strong effort in between the pipes today for Amelia Massa, who made numerous saves on Peabody's many attacks and was able to hold down the fort during a penalty corner opportunity for the Peabody Tanners. That will do it for us here today. For the entire BevCam Sportsnet crew, I am JJ Sylvia, wishing you a good rest of your afternoon. Enjoy the weather.